Hello, today's tutorial concentrates on the Whizkids Phase Spider miniature. Now I didn't film the pre-shade and I kind of wish I had, because the paint mix was a little thin and it kind of splattered and produced a kind of marble effect, as you can see on the abdomen of the spider. I was just about to strip it down and re-prime it, and I thought it'd be interesting, you know, in the words of Bob Ross, there are no mistakes, only happy little accidents, just to carry on and see what effect could be achieved. So I'm adding here, as you can see, some more highlights to the base coat with some lightened Space Wolves grey, just around the head, the abdomen, the joins of the legs, so on and so forth. And I've got the brush in really close to the miniature, just to spray the areas that I wanted to, not to spray anything that I didn't. Again, I'm going to be using contrast paint, so I thought it'd be good just to get as much contrast in the base coat as possible. And I was just interested to see what would happen, and obviously if the model didn't work out, you could always reprime it and start again. So with the highlight coat complete, I decided to add a thin coat of Space Wolves grey contrast paint, thinned with the contrast medium. Like I've said in previous videos, obviously if a paint coat's nice and thin, you can go and add another layer. If it's too thick, there's not a lot you can do about it, and I want to preserve that marbling effect that I talked about at the start of the video. So I'm just applying this all over the model, just making sure it's nice even coverage, and making sure I don't miss any sections. And as the contrast paint does, it looked really quite nice. It preserved the effect of the back of the spider, and it really picked out some of the details. This was left to dry for a couple of hours, and then going back I added a undiluted Space Wolves grey to areas such as the legs, the head, the joins, basically the darker recesses of the figure, just to provide another degree of contrast. So returning to the model the next evening, I decided to add some pin washes using Citadel Nuln Oil Black in areas around the knees, any area in shadow, basically to complement what the contrast paint had done in the previous step. I then added some highlights using Phoenician Grey, just in the same areas, but just the knees and so on and so forth, to add a highlight. It really helped contrasting with the Nuln Oil Black pin washes. So this took a little while, and I used successively lightened shades in the same areas to bring out the detail, just being careful not to overdo the effect, so just taking my time and having a good look at the work I'd done so far. So next up, the eyes were painted with Rune Fang Steel. This is a base coat for successive paint coats I was going to add. It's a technique Armour modelers used to paint windows. I thought it'd be interesting to try, see how it worked in this case. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just painting on the fangs with some Ushabti bone, and obviously this is going to receive some weathering later on in the process, but again, just while the eyes were drying, I thought I'd do that. So next up, now the silver's dry, I'm using some Tamiya X27 Clear Red, applying it very carefully, and it's undiluted, only needed one coat. I was thinking I might have to apply several, but the effect looked quite good, so I left it at that. As you can see, it took a while because there's plenty of eyes, but it was really quite striking, and as I said, I left it at just the one coat. So with the eyes finished, I decided to add some pin washes of MIG Oil Brusher Black, just round the recesses, again other areas that had received highlights, just around the eyes, the knees, any areas of shadow really. While that was drying, I applied an overall wash of Devlan mud to the base of the miniature. Obviously the miniature itself is a kind of grey hue, so I thought if the base is grey as well, it would kind of get a bit lost, so this just provided some contrast. With that done, the final stage I had some final highlights with lightened Phoenician Grey just on the joins and the jaws and so on and so forth. Pretty much white, just to really bring out the detail. Final stage was just adding some dry brushing to the edge of the base, just to restore some of the surface detail. And with that, the model was pretty much finished. So thank you again for watching. I hope it's been useful. I really don't know what I'm going to do next. I've got a table full of miniatures that are ready to go. So I'm going to post another video up next week. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.